Hi, this is Courtney with a garden update. Happy day on this Friday. There's a big garden over there we'll walk over in a second, but I want to show you here that our little composting device is working out great. We love that a lot. Here's our mugwort. It's the first year, but already it's really thriving. Over here is some ground ivy and arugula. All of these plants are volunteers here. So we planted a couple of arugula plants, and all those are volunteering from the plant that went to seed. When it's young, it's really delicious. Over here is a pea plant that will hopefully be growing up this trellis that we've constructed. I think some of the local birds and whatnot got into my seed because there are barely any peas growing, and I planted like 50 seeds. But here's a little pea plant growing up our grasses. And then over here, I thought this was kind of cute. There's a misguided pea plant right in the middle of the yard. Poor little thing. Maybe I'll stake it up, huh? Alright, so you can see the remnants of the sunflower garden. And the birds just love to sit on those. Of course, the neighbor's dogs go crazy every time I try to make a film. All of my films in Delaware will now include barking dogs. So that's how those lettuces are doing. Here's a bigger arugula plant, much more mature. I like to take these bigger leaves off, and I use them a lot for pesto, believe it or not. They're delicious. Here's the carrots getting bigger. You can see down at the bottom here. I don't know if you can see the little carrot at the bottom, but it's in there. More and more lettuces, tons and tons of arugula. Actually, that may, oh look at that. Those are actually root veggies, you see? Can you see that? So cool. So you can eat the greens of that, or you can make vinegars using those to take all the iron and nutrients out of them and put them into solution in vinegar. I'll show you how to do that later in the year. Yep, there's some more root veggies, lots of lettuce. When we pull these guys out, then those little tiny lettuces will start to get more light and they'll mature. So it's good plant stuff all together. Tons and tons of greens right here in the yard. And boy, are they delicious. It's amazing. So this is what's come of my straw bale garden. I'm pretty happy with it in the end. And I'm really glad we have this trench that we dug and this fence, because there are tons of little moles. They're very cute. They're blind and they scrape out the soil. Anyway, potato container. Potatoes are growing nicely. Those guys are getting big. And as the tubers grow, we just have to make sure to keep those covered up. Tomatoes are still alive in November. We planted some bulbs for spring, and exactly, some of those are starting to come up. We have to cover those guys up a little bit so that they don't come up prematurely. We don't want them to get burned by the winter that's coming. Over here, we're killing off a little bit more grass and getting ready to mulch all of this. Rather than get a truckload, I'm just going to do probably like 20 or 30 bags and mulch that out. And the herb and flower spiral as well. Rosemary, right next to the door to the kitchen. What a wonderful smell. And here we have Beebalm. And I wanted to show you how well this greens bed is doing. This is right outside my bedroom window and outside the patio where we like to sit. So this is an amazing thing. You can walk right out here and you have fresh greens. They're so delicious and they're so full of life energy. This is the herb garden. One sad little basil plant. But the perennials are doing really well, and they're going to come back year after year. Mint and lemon balm. We have tons of other things growing here too. There's lettuce that volunteered. And these look to be those flowers that came up earlier. And hopefully those, if they're mulched, they'll survive and spring up. So here we go. Oh, that's where the lettuce was. Pretty cool. And this here is chervil. I'm looking forward to tasting some of that. I guess you can chop that up like celery, and you can also use it as an herb. Really wonderful thing. Okay, well, you know, after all the grief and trauma this week with the elections, I feel like it's really important to keep this emphasis on the beautiful garden and what we do have and what we can do. Bye for now.